do, and that you would help us to serve others as best we can. Father, we pray that you would bless this food to the nourishment of our bodies and be with those who prepared it. We ask these things now in Jesus' name. Amen.
Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I think last time I forgot to tell you to be seated. So you may be seated. That was a mistake last time. Well, again, this is technically my first day as president since I was not here last week. But I hear it went just fine. So we appreciate Joel filling in for me, and glad that I wasn't fired already, so thank you. Our Sergeant at Arms today will be Carol LaRue. That was the best applause we don't have.
Okay, you'll applaud more after this. So, okay. I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. Very good, okay. So I was delighted this week to run across an article called, well, it's all about the ice cream paradox. And it was written by a physician, actually an oncologist and a bioethicist. And it was a study that showed the decreased risk of metabolic disease when you consume ice cream. And I don't know about you guys, but this summer is hot, and I always want ice cream, right? And I love ice cream so much. But actually it shows that it can help prevent look at it back there, prevent type 2 diabetes. And especially when ice cream is coupled with the F and F foods, which would be fermented, like yogurt or kefir or that kind of thing, and fiber. So, if you have a nice big bowl of ice cream, you put some granola on it or nuts, I mean, you are good to go, right? Okay. Yeah, okay, good. Okay. So, as we age, okay, I know we're all conscientious about what we eat and how we take care of ourselves. And there are some key ways to age more healthily. One is get a lot of sleep, okay? Get movement, move your body. Socialization is huge. So spending time with friends and family, that are energy giving and positive for you. So this is my theory. I think if you get a good night's sleep, you wake up, think, oh man, ice cream really sounds good. Grab a friend, walk down to another friend's house, so you're getting your movement, and enjoy your ice cream. Because enjoyment is also a big plus for healthy aging. So there you go.
All right, no breaks today. That means you all need to get out $1 and put it in the bucket. The money goes to our scholarships fund. Hey, no, that was perfect. No breaks today. It's okay. It was a perfect plan. If you're a guest, you are exempt. And I will tell you, boys, my favorite part so far today is learning the power of that bell. You all were in a deep conversation and immediately stopped, and I got your attention. So I'll have to treat that bell carefully. Our Rotarian of the day today is Victoria Perry. Victoria, are you here? Thank you to our caterer, Timbered Inn. Wonderful. We do have some guests with us today. We have Chris Sloan with David Sloan. Wave, bring that wave up. We have Cassie Hampton with Ben Hampton. We have Abby Ingalls with Nicole Reynolds. And we have Ralph Richardson with Cassie Kennedy.
It's Casey. She wants me to tell you.
I apologize. I've done that so many times and it will happen again. I apologize, Casey. Debbie Brown with Doug Brown. And let's see. Those are all our guests for today. Sorry, I'm learning also that they write notes on the bottom there for them to remember, and I'm making sure I don't need to repeat it. All right. So if there are any announcements, please make your way to the stage. This is unusual for this group. Are there no announcements? Nothing. Wow. That's a round of applause. All right, well, perfect. That means we get to jump right then into our speaker for the day. Since 2019, Sherry Alexander has led the Mid-America Industrial Park's business development and corporate governance efforts. She oversees all marketing for the park, legislative affairs, external and community relations, in addition to promoting Mid-America to potential new industries. Previously, she served 14 years as a director for Rogers State University's Pryor campus, located at Mid-America. In addition, Sherry is involved in several organizations, both locally and statewide, including the State Chamber of Commerce, Tulsa Regional Chamber of Commerce, Select Oklahoma, and serves on the Pryor Area Chamber of Commerce Board. As a lifelong resident of Mays County, she holds a bachelor's degree from Rogers State University and obtained her master's from Oklahoma State University. Please join me in welcoming Sherry Alexander.
Thank you very much. I gave him the shortest bio I had, so I didn't want to go through all that. So I'm really so excited to be here today with this group. You guys are a good-looking group, and it's a large group. I was surprised when they told me that Judy told me it was going to be 80, 85. That's awesome. And I also heard that it doesn't matter how I do today because your speaker last week was so bad that I could. I heard that from your chief here. Sorry, I just had to use that. It's great. So I am from the Mid-America Industrial Park, and you know, a lot of people don't realize that the Mid-America Industrial Park is the largest industrial park in the state of Oklahoma, and it belongs to Northeast Oklahoma. And I was also telling you today that we use Grand Lake and the Grove area as one of our assets when we are marketing the park to potential companies. So you guys are all, whether you know it or not, part of our family. We have maps on our Welcome Center wall of Grand Lake, and we're very proud of this lake and the asset that it is also for the state, along with the park. So the park is here for all of Northeast Oklahoma. We have over 6,000 employees, over 80 companies, including Google's second largest data center in the world. And eventually they will be the largest data center in the world. Google owns 1,000 acres at the park. And right now they've only built out on 300. So they still have 700 more to go. We'll get into a little more detail and you guys can ask questions. Speaking of questions, as I go along here, if you guys have questions, I want this to be about what you need it to be, so please interrupt me at any time and ask some questions. So, yes, we are in the nation's heartland. It is the largest in the state. We are the 5th largest industrial park in the United States and the 8th largest in the world. A little tidbit there for you. Okay, let's see if I've got this going. Yeah. Okay, so you know, for those of you that don't know, we did start out. It was in World War II, back in the 40s. It was a black powder ammunition plant. And there were about 10,000 employees at the park at that time. So when the war was over, they decommissioned it, and it mothballed for a while. So in 1960, our local legislators and our local elected officials went to DC and said, can you surplus it and sell it to the state? And they did. So it became the Oklahoma Ordnance Works Authority, which is a state industrial public trust. We are not appropriated by the state, which means we don't get any money from the state. We are self-sufficient, but we are considered to be a state asset. So this is 1960 when they established us. Okay. One of the greatest things that they established back in 1960 was the continuity of our leadership. We have 5 board members, and that's all we've ever had. 3 of them are lifetime appointments. Our Chief Administrative Officer, which is David Stewart. I don't know if you guys know him. He's from the Tulsa area. He was with the Cherokee Nation for many years, and he's the one that brought the Hard Rock Casino to Catoosa area. So he has a lot of experience in marketing and has a visionary look at what we need to be there at the park. So Mr. Stewart has been our Chief Administrative Officer since 2013. He is only the third one since 1960. Because, you know, their lifetime appointment, they're going to retire or die, one or the other. But they're forever. That's a good thing, though. I make fun of it all the time, but it's a good thing. So then we have one of our board members that is a lifetime appointment, and he is appointed by the Senate Pro Tem. And then the next one is appointed by the Speaker of the House. The fourth board member has to be a board member on the GRDA board, and the governor decides who that is. And then the fifth board member is the director or CEO now, as they've changed positions at the Oklahoma Department of Commerce. And that is the board. That's how it's established, so there is all kinds of continuity. This is our mission statement. That's the formal mission statement. What I usually tell people is the park is there to create jobs for Northeast Oklahoma and the state of Oklahoma. That is our main job. So when we're talking to companies and they're sending us all these projects, Commerce is in the projects, and we look at them and they need 30 acres or 50 acres. If they have 100 employees and they want 50 acres, you betcha, bring it. If they have 10 employees and they want 50 acres, yeah, we're not real excited about that. Our job is to bring those jobs to the state. So we're kind of picky. This is kind of what our organization looks like. We have an amazing team there at the park. This is the administrative piece that most people don't know. As what you heard earlier on my bio, I do all the legislative affairs, the community affairs, anything external falls on me. All the marketing and all the recruitment of business. But we've got a whole team. We've got a workforce director that handles nothing but workforce. Not just for new companies, but for existing companies. We've got our executive director, who is also our environmental specialist. He handles our water plant, our wastewater plant, anything environmental. We have a physical engineer on staff. He handles all of our construction and engineering. We have accounting. I mean, we're loaded, so when a new company comes in, we help them with anything they need. When existing companies need something, we've got the expertise to help them as well. The biggest thing that new companies look for is how quickly can I get started building and getting my business ready. Well, at the park, and this is really strange, Mays County does not have any county permitting. That's a good thing and a bad thing. And you guys, we can talk about that in one of our questions, because we now have solar panels everywhere because we don't have any zoning or permitting in Mays County. But it works really well for the park because we can sell land to these businesses and they can come directly in and start building. They don't have to get the zoning and the permitting from, like they do in other places. So our speed to market is really what makes us a driving force when it comes to industrial companies. We do a lot with quality of life. This is where you guys come in. This is where Grand Lake comes in. I live on Hudson, so I help you guys. I don't know if you know that, because we don't want Grand to flood, but we're going to flood Hudson. So I think we're up 6 feet this morning. You guys were only up 1, I think is what I heard. And then, of course, Fort Gibson, they're up 14, 16. Terrible, because we flow into them. And that's how the GRDA system works. But quality of life is huge. You know, we are very proud of our lake system, especially Grand. This is the district. Our Chief Administrative Officer is so visionary. He's like, okay, we've got 9,000 acres out here that we're marketing, and we really need to think about what these people need when they come. So he has built this whole quality of life program. This is the district. We own this. It is right directly across from Google. We have restaurants, other little businesses. We have a community space. I was just telling Judy the rooster that you have here in Grove. We now have a rooster here at the district. We're glad to have them. This is our district master plan. It's not just about the restaurants and the retail and the community space. We also have 300 apartments up right now. We have housing. You can see the housing developments there. Those will start getting underway this fall. We partner heavily with the Cherokee Nation. They've just built a $28 million child development center. We love our Cherokee Nation. We love being partners with them. And they got a training facility at the park as well. So this type of thing, the child development, the housing, if you don't have that and you are trying to recruit big companies, you better be showing them how you're going to get it, because they have to have a place for their people to work, there, to have a place to live, and where are they going to take their children? They want to know what the hospitals look like. There's a whole slew of questions, and where are we going to go on the weekend? We're going to go to Grand. That's where everybody else goes. We go through all those things with them, and it keeps us pretty popular because we think of everything for them before they get here. These are the apartments, and you can see that they were still under construction at that point. They are going to be leasing those this fall, those new ones. This is our housing that we have, that we're working with right now. We've just signed contracts for the developers to start coming in. This is the new Cherokee Nation Child Development Center. It is complete. They can handle about 250 students, children. It is beautiful. Now, I have gone through this facility several times, and every time I think the same thing. I wouldn't put kids in here. It's too nice. I mean, there's glass everywhere. It's beautiful. You should see this place. It looks like a museum. They've got all these little children with all their little hands on the bar of this glass. There's a lot of Windex going on. It's beautiful, though. We also have an airport, H71, our regional business airport. We built a brand new FBO last year and opened it. It's beautiful, and we did that through a grant with FAA and ODAA, and we're very proud of it. So if any of you fly planes, any flyers in here? No? One? Come down and visit us. This is really futuristic. Okay, this isn't even, this is in the future. We leave this slide in here so that people know that we are thinking forward, and this will be something we add in the future. We have a lot that's just blank right now. It's where the old yarn mill used to be, so this is what we have planned for the yarn mill, and that's what we're going to call it, is the yarn mill. Okay, this is kind of a map of the park, and I know it's really hard to see. It's really hard to see. But that's the 9,000 acre wood, as I call it. GRDA is at the bottom of the map. You can see that. Anything you see in orange is what we have dedicated for housing. We've purchased over 1,000 acres surrounding the park, and it's dedicated strictly to housing so that we can support our companies that are growing and support new companies that are coming in. We've got about 1,500 acres left, by the way, of the 9,000 acres. So we are marketing that 1,500 right now. Water and waste treatment. Why is this important? Well, and I know you guys aren't going to be able to see this. I don't know why the boys love to put these slides in. They're so proud of their water and their wastewater. This is their big deal. But that is a really big deal for Mid-America. We own the third largest water processing plant in the state, right behind Tulsa and Oklahoma City. Our water plant can produce 50 million gallons per day. We are currently using 22 million gallons. So we have major capacity, which is why new businesses, especially water users, and trust me, we make money off of water, so I am constantly recruiting water users. We want water users because we can do that. We have GRDA also on site, so we have power. we also own our wastewater treatment system. Now, with the water system that we have, we sell water to 3 municipalities, Shoto, Pryor, and Salina. And we sell water to 6 rural water districts in the area. And we sell water to all of the industries in the park. But when it comes to the wastewater treatment plant, we only take in what the park has and produces. We don't take in anybody else's wastewater. We made money on that too. See, look at them. They put their sanitary sewer. No, who wants to see that? And then we always include this guy, GRDA. They are one of our greatest partners. I know that they're really important to you guys here at Grand. Having them on site there at Mid-America, they have lines, huge power lines that go directly into Google's system. And having that is a huge asset for us. So we always include, what you're seeing, by the way, this slide PowerPoint, this is what we show in companies so that they can see we're thinking forward, we have partners, this is what we're doing. You're seeing the same thing that they see. So that's why we include all these GRDA slides. So I'm going to flip through those pretty quick. And Oklahoma Natural Gas. We include Oklahoma Natural Gas because that's who we have at the park, and they are a crucial partner to us as well. And their overview, and then we get to workforce. Workforce is huge. It's not just about people, though. It's also about the infrastructure, like we talked about, housing, hospitals, daycare, all those things matter. We have our own director of workforce, and he has some major programs that we're working with our existing companies and new companies. It's huge to us to have these partners, educational partners, all of our schools, our community higher education. Since I came from Rogers State, we work with all the tech system, Tulsa Tech System, Cherokee Nation. All these people come together at the table to help train and onboard all these employees that we take in. Our workforce does not just live in the Pryor area. They drive from a 60-mile radius. Guess what? You guys are included in that 60-mile radius. So we reach all the way over into Arkansas. So we have a heat map that actually shows where they come from. The brunt of the employees are from the Mays County area, but most of our middle management, upper management, they live outside the Mays County area. They're usually coming in from Tulsa, Broken Arrow, Lasso, those areas. And lots of data from our workforce people. This is interesting. This is our STEM lab, okay? We have 18 of these in all of our local schools. Now, most of them are in the high schools. A couple of them are in the grade schools. But we put these STEM labs in the schools and worked with all of our superintendents throughout the system with an MOU that states our companies can come into the STEM labs and work with the students, and the students and the teachers can come out to the park and work with the companies. That way it kind of creates a pipeline and they learn about the industrial park and what types of jobs there are there. It's not just manufacturing. They have to have accountants, they have to have engineers, they have to have all types of workers. It's not just about being on an assembly line as people like to think sometimes. That pipeline, that kind of just shows you how much we do with our high school kids. We have so many programs and we're constantly, we have one person on staff that does nothing but work with our schools. Training. We have Rogers State University has a campus at the park. Northeast Tech has a campus at the park. Cherokee Nation has their training center at the park, and then we have our own called the Center of Excellence. And in that Center of Excellence, it is run by a board that is made up of all of our plant managers. So they decide what the curriculum is, what their employees need, the type of training, and then we put it together. And our workforce director is really good at that. He came from OSU IT and has been there for many years. Lots of workforce. That's a big deal at our place, workforce. Okay, and that's our team. So, I brought a little basket, and this is funny because typically people don't like to ask questions. Well, and Judy said, oh, you're not going to have that problem here. These people love to ask questions. So I've got this basket. If you ask a question, you can take something from it. Now, before we get started, I'm just going to tell you, my knowledge of smelters is about this much. Because that seems to be the big question right now, is smelter. That is not in the park, that is in the Inola Port, with the Port of Catoosa. Our friends are running that project. They did not ever come to the park to ask us about that because they needed the waterway. They needed the port, so we never even looked at that project. So, yeah, we'll leave that at that.
I have a question to start out with. Sorry, guys, I'm jumping in. What companies are in the park?
Well, we have 5 that are Fortune 500. We have Siemens, Chevron, Air Products, Amcor, which used to be Berry Plastics. We have Google. We have our MyLab are the ones that have originated there from local people. Ray Corporation. They're worldwide. They do commercial size HVAC units. That is a family-owned business that has grown over the years, and they're getting to be one of our largest employers. And also HIMSA. HIMSA is also locally grown, and they ship all over the world. Plus DuPont, which is now IFF. Several American Castings, Cascades. We have a lot of paper plants. Yeah, just a little bit of everything. And Google.
You indicated the county doesn't have any zoning or permits.
I do not.
That's not always a bad thing.
I know.
And so how are the permits and planning handled there if the county isn't doing anything on it?
Well, there's not any. So we'll talk about CBC. Our brand new company that we just landed is CBC USA Ammunition. They're actually CBC Global. It is a global ammunition company. They're getting ready to start building. So they're like, okay, we know you guys said you don't have any zoning or permitting or anything like that. So what do we need to do? Start building? Nothing. Their insurance actually governs what they build, so we don't get involved in that. Now, they do have to go through DEQ, if they have air emissions, anything like that, anything federally, they still have to go through those processes. But to come out and start building at the park, they don't have to have a permit. They can just start building. I know, it's weird, isn't it?
Well, that kind of leads into my question, which is I'm not quite sure I understand the governance of this area. Like you said, you're not a state agency, but I'm not sure what you are. You mentioned you sell the land, but once you sell it, do you have some sort of jurisdiction over that land, or at least covenants and restrictions?
Think of it like a homeowners association. Okay? Well, they're better than all. We do have covenants. We do have first right of refusal to anyone we sell land to. We have very strict development agreements, purchasing agreements. Some of the property we have, and I'll just tell you that some of it's leased out. We own 1.3 million square feet of warehousing that we will remain owning. That's part of our revenue. The thing about not being subsidized or getting money from the state is that we've got 9,000 acres to take care of. And since we are in the county, the other thing is we don't ask the county to help with our roads. We've got a couple of state highways that border us, but the interior roads we maintain. So we are maintaining the water plant, the wastewater plant, the roads, and doing all the mowing, the maintenance. It's like its own little city. The airport, all of that is us. So all the revenue that we bring in goes right back into that park.
But county sheriff, I guess, is the law enforcement?
Law enforcement. That's amazing. Law enforcement. We have the county sheriff. We have the GRDA police. We have the Cherokee Nation Marshals. We have Pryor PD. We're covered. OHP. We've got them all. Yes, we're covered.
I understand that there are a lot of people who don't like data centers, say like down in I understand there's a lot of people who don't like data centers like down there, and Keystone Lake, they're trying to not make it happen down there. And given that you are really familiar with the one that Google has done, have there been anything that you have seen that have been untoward consequences? Is there anything about the Google data center that you'd say, wow, it's a bad idea?
I love that you asked this question, because we answered this question about 5 times every day for the last year. We seem to be the experts. Google has been with us since 2007. So we've lived with them, they've lived with us. It's a good relationship. Not all data centers are created equal. And I will just say, the one we have, we love. We have had several different communities from even several different states come in. They want to see it, they want to touch it, they want to smell it, they want to feel it, they want to ask us questions, and we answer them to the best of our ability. But as far as our relationship with Google, they are such a great partner. They use a lot of water, but we have a lot of water. And DEQ helps with maintaining what's going into the water, what's coming out of the water. They don't add chemicals to the water they use, and the water they're using is for cooling, okay? They don't add chemicals. They run it through, they cool. Some of it's evaporating. That seems to be a big issue right now, especially in small communities, if they're going to use a cooling system like that. But they have to clean it. They have to put the pH balance back into it. They have to be approved by DEQ, and then it goes back into the river. But it is all done through those processes, and they are mandated by DEQ. Community-wise, they volunteer for everything. They support all of our communities. They've supported all the state of Oklahoma because they have what they call Google Community Grants. Anybody in the state can fill out those grants. Lots of schools, lots of different. Good, yes, that's good. And that's what we want. And they are good partners, good neighbors. They do not emit any emissions. There's no smell. I guess so. It's been comical. We had a group from Kansas that came in. They're like, we've driven around it and we can't smell anything. Go a mile down the road to the main industrial area, you'll smell something. But it won't be a data center. They're like, well, we can't hear anything. I said, that's because they're cooled by water. Some of these data centers are cooled by air. And when they're running those big fans, yes, it's going to make noise. You're going to have noise. So the people that we're finding that are the most upset about the data centers coming into their community are the ones where it's coming into their city limits. And it's going to use their resources. They may not have enough water or enough power. They may be running on fans instead of water cooling, and that's going to create noise next to neighborhoods. So there's all those different things that you have to take into consideration. The question, and it's the same question you just asked, is there a downside to Google? We don't have one. We love it that they use water. We love it that the water they use, they don't put chemicals in. We love it that they don't smell. We love it that they participate. You know, they've been great neighbors. They're going to continue to build. The difference is when they came to us in 2007, they were the cloud. They were data storage. So they didn't use a lot of power. Now what they're building is AI. And the AI uses 5 times more power than the cloud. And so that's where everybody's kind of really getting concerned.
One more question. Since, especially in Pryor, you guys have the experience of the ammunition plant, and you saw it happen, it was great, it was big. My dad worked there when he was a little kid. And so now you have Google there, okay? So in the space of 80 years, you've gone from an ammo plant for World War I to Google. And how come you don't lease for 99 years? Because you have seen this technology go to this technology, and what's going to happen is that if you keep doing this, those companies will own all your land, and you won't own it, and they may change in the future. And you know, there is no more ammunition plant, you know what I mean?
Sure. Which is why we keep first right of refusal and why we have covenants, because even though we don't own their property, we do have jurisdiction over a lot of what they're doing. We don't have anybody on dispensaries and grow houses. We don't have any of that. We're real careful what we put in there. One of my jobs, I want to tell you something. Thank you. One of my jobs, this is a job for me. I get paid. I love it. But it's a passion project. I was born in Pryor. I was raised in Shogo. My husband and I have been married for 32 years. We live on Lake Hudson. He had 2 children. I had 2 children. Strange conversation this is because I never wanted children. And now we have 13 grandchildren. And they all live within 20 minutes from me. So they're all in this area. So when I'm out recruiting companies, and we've got companies coming in from Commerce, I don't want those companies that are going to have bad emissions and ruin our water, because I live here, my kids live here, my grandkids live here. So my husband keeps asking when I'm going to retire, and I'm like, not yet. I got to get the park full because I've got to keep an eye on what they're putting out there. So you know, we're protective over it, and it's not just me. That team that I was talking about, they're from that area as well. So we're very careful. Before I came here today, we had a meeting about all these new projects that are looking at us, and it was like stacked this high. And we went through them going, this one has emissions. Nope. This one has, well, I don't have enough employees. Nope. You know, we do the no's and the yes. We get the team at the table and say what fits here. So when we went through that whole Panasonic and Canoe and all those debacles, Lord, I didn't think I was going to live through that. It was just on and on forever. And then Volkswagen came in, and we dealt with them for 9 months. But we learned a lot through those projects. No one else in the state could handle those projects, which is why they were coming to us. And the state recognized that, so now they're getting other areas ready for big projects. Thank you, that was good, because it was a lot. It was a heavy weight. But we learned so much through those projects. And the community was not happy, as you guys know, with the Panasonic thing, because I don't know what that was about. You know, it was electric car batteries, and they were worried about the chemicals and how they were going to be dispersed and this type of thing. So when we finally got through all that, and we recruited the ammunition company, which I worked so hard on because that's what I wanted. I wanted to go back to our history. And then I got to thinking, oh goodness, what are they going to think about this? Now we've got ammunition and black powder going to be out here, so the community's going to throw this huge fit. So I hired our PR firm, and I said, okay, I need you to get ready. When we announce this, we need to be ready, because I don't know how they're going to take it. How do you guys think they took it? Not a peep of anything out of anybody. And I'm like, okay, we can't make batteries, but we can blow the world up out here, and they're just happy as can be. It's small caliber ammunition, so we're excited about that.
So I'm guessing companies attrit out of there, but if they own their land and leave, do they have to sell it, or do you guys sell it? And then the second part is, what are you going to do when you're out of land? Do you have more land under contract?
First question. Most of them don't leave. We had Gatorade that built that 1 million square foot building, and they left. And we bought it from them. That was the deal. First right of refusal. We bought it to keep anything that we better be able to control. Control's a big thing. We bought it, and now Google owns it, and it is now AI. We don't have a lot of people that leave. We have a lot of growth. We need more land. We need to expand. We need more land. So that 1,500 acres, when that's gone, we keep saying, okay, what are we going to do then? So we're still a state agency. So one of the things that's being discussed is we're still going to be bringing in revenue, and we're going to be out of land. What do we do? So as a state agency, and working closely like we do with the Department of Commerce, we think we can help other areas with their plans to expand. You know, maybe take some of the money we have and put back into other areas that are needing to put in infrastructure or whatever they need to bring in companies to the state. Whatever we do, it has to go with that mission. We've got to create jobs for the state of Oklahoma. It has to be that.
Do you get your water out of the river from your treatment plant?
We do. We have a 99-year contract with GRDA.
So Canoe King spoke last years ago when I started. What happened to Canoe?
What happened to Canoe?
Canoe and Elliott. They looked at land, we had contracts on land with them, they never bought anything.
What never happened?
Never happened. In fact, the building that we actually leased to them, that they took over, CBC USA just bought that building. They're starting to bring in their equipment from Brazil right now. And another thing about CBC, they just hired a new CEO and he's from Springfield, Missouri. We're really excited about that. Great guy.
So I have kind of a tough question, and maybe some of the other folks in here have been thinking about that. Google, probably one of the most powerful companies in the world. Do they have their own security/defense system to protect what you're overseeing?
It's a good question. One that I don't know, and I'm not going to pretend to know. But I will tell you, to get in that place, you've got to leave your firstborn at the gate. And I've been there. I worked at RSU for 14 years. I worked with Google then, and I've been at the park for almost 8 years now. I've been inside Google 3 times, and that is only when they've had an event and the governor's been there. And I had to leave my firstborn at the gate. They also are very careful about, oh, here's a really good story. Senator Langford called and said, you know, I keep hearing all this stuff about the park. I want to come see it. I want to come spend some time with you guys. I thought that was so cool. I'm like, great. He said, one of the things I'd like to do is tour Google. I said, okay. So GRDA and I both, Dan Sullivan, my boss, we couldn't get the senator into Google. Could not do it. They would not budge on it. They just don't. They don't let anybody in there. The buildings you see, if you guys have ever driven by there, they look to be about 6 stories high. They're just as deep as they are high. They dug all that out. When we have people, even us, we have drones that are taking pictures of the park all the time. We've got drones up. We call that the no-fly zone. You can't take a drone up above Google. They do not like it. Now, what's really strange is they are right next to our airport. Planes above them all day long, but no drones. No drones. Exactly.
Having the operating data center was a great opportunity for him to be a, you might say, data for having a data center, meaning generating all the facts related to water usage, related to power usage, related to all of that, so that other communities could use those performance facts in their decision making. But on that 300-acre site, how many permanent employees are there?
This is interesting. Formally, they tell us 800. Okay, I think at this point there may be more than that. It's hard to tell as far as full-time employees. But you have to understand as well, there are a lot of contractors. They have a lot of electricians that contract there. These systems have to stay up. And then we have the construction workers. We call those indirect jobs. Right now, they've got over 1,800 employees out there that are just doing construction. That's not counting the other 800 that are supposedly inside. Now, we've heard different numbers. One of their guys told me the other day that on any given day there could be 5,000 people out there. And I'm like, okay, somebody's not giving us all the right numbers. I don't know what's going on. We're not quite sure how many people are out there, but there's a lot. And you don't want to be caught around there at 4:30 because they let them all up at the same time. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like Tulsa traffic in Pryor. It's crazy. Anybody else?
I
think that's it. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. One other thing that you had said, we do put all this information out there to let them know, we do think Google's good, water and all that. It just doesn't work for all these other small communities that they're trying to go into. And so these communities really have to weigh those differences. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm not sure how I'm going to follow up that presentation, but lucky for you, that is what will be next week. It will be me. So just come for the food. But one of the things I want to do next week is a lot of them will be wanting to hear from you as well. So please come, and we'll have fun. Thank you again to our caterer. As for the chairs and tables, leave everything out. So. All right, so please join me as we adjourn for the four-way test, or with the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it true? Is it fair, officer? And is it fun? Are we still doing that? Yeah.